What's up, everybody? This is Insane Sports Comedy with your very one and only ISCD Hinton. Now, lately, my comments have been the comments on my YouTube videos have been crazy. We're not going to talk too much about that. I got to get down to some more predictions today. I'm not gonna discuss anything else. There's a lot of stuff going on. The protests have been dying down. Um, the coronavirus, to my knowledge, has been dying down. Hopefully, we can get things back to normal. Um, as of New York City, the first phase of reopening has has commenced, and these past few days, these past few days have been better than earlier this year. But without further ado, let's get down to these predictions. Now, I already completed the AFC East, the AFC North, and so now I gotta get to the AFC South. Before I do any before I do my predictions on this division, let me just note that in case anyone hasn't noticed, the AFC South is the only division in the AFC where every team in this division, right? The Texans, Colts, Titans, and Jaguars, in case no one's noticed, every team in the AFC South has appeared in at least one AFC championship game in the last 10 years. Just let that sink in. Let that sink in. Hold that thought while I do these predictions. Today, I'm going to be doing predictions on the Houston Texans. Hopefully, if I have time for another video, I'm going to do the Indianapolis Colts next. Titans and Jaguars, I'll get to that another day, maybe later tonight. Who knows? The way I be posting videos. But starting off with the Texans, week 1, they go into Kansas City against the Chiefs. I have this as a loss for many obvious reasons. The Texans cannot match up with the Chiefs offensively. They might be able to match up with them defensively, but it's a long shot. And the coaching between Andy Reid and Bill O'Brien, it's not even an argument anymore. Maybe 2-3 years ago it could have been, but it's not anymore. If I'm looking at the quarterbacks, Patrick Mahomes, Deshaun Watson, two of the most powerful quarterbacks from their draft class, I think Deshaun Watson very well could do what Patrick Mahomes did and win a Super Bowl as a black quarterback. But all right, hold on. Give me a minute. Hold on, guys. Hold on, everybody. I'll be right back. I just got a mail and shit. Voila! I just got a brand new package. Might do a video on this later. I don't know, but I'm not gonna. I gotta finish these predictions. But yeah, I got mail today. I'm not gonna say what's in the box. I'm just gonna continue with the predictions. And I gotta hurry up now. So week 2 against the Ravens, I see this as another loss. I think the Texans go on a 2-game winning streak against Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson. Week 3 at the Steelers, I think that's going to be another loss. This Texans team could obviously handle the Steelers, but if Big Ben is healthy, which I think reports have come out that he is, Ben Roethlisberger is going to pull all the tricks out of his sleeve in this game. Again, the Texans. This is going to be another defense that the Texans offense may not be able to match up against. They very well could, but they just gave up a big, huge wide receiver and a huge running back. Now, with the Texans going 0-3 in my predictions, I have them winning that home game against the Vikings. So far the Texans will only have one loss at home. Next week, week 5 hosting the Jaguars. Obviously another win. This would be their first. This would be their first game against a division rival. So far, after 5 weeks, the Texans would be 2-3. A little shaky start. It's not too bad because, hey, it's not a winning record, so you've got stuff to improve anyways. But this right here is at a point where the Texans are undefeated against their division. They're 1-1 at home, but they're 0-2 on the road. 0-2 on the road going into week 6 against the Titans. I think they lose that game as well. Texans and the Titans have been butting heads for so many years. And I don't know, maybe I have too much faith in this Tennessee team, especially after they just gave up Deion Lewis to the New York Giants. But Derrick Henry is a monster. This Texans defense, they might be able to handle him, but I don't think they will, especially if J.J. Watt isn't 100%. So I have the Texans 2-4 going into week 7 against the Packers. I think they're going to lose to the Packers. Now, I'm not just saying this as a Packers fan. I'm not being biased at all. The wide receiver unit for the Packers would actually probably get outplayed by this Texans defense. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm not even gonna lie to you. But the Packers defense, in my eyes, is very underrated. I feel like a lot of guys think Green Bay is suspect to fail this season, especially after hitting that brick wall for the Packers, which is always the NFC Championship. But just because they lost to the Niners doesn't mean they're just gonna flop. The season. You feel me? It's not saying that the Texans are gonna flop the season either. I have the Texans going in a good place. Now just look at this. Going into the bye week, Texans 2-5, only winning against the Vikings and the Jaguars. So right now, everyone is already thinking, oh man, the Texans are just weak. They might not do much this year. Week 8, bye week. Now watch this. They come back week 9 in Jacksonville against the Jaguars, win. Week 10 at Cleveland against the Browns, win. I've been getting a lot of Browns hate lately. People have been trying to preach to me about how great the Browns could be. They won't be great enough to beat the Texans. They won't be good enough to beat the Texans. They just won't. I don't care where that game is. So, 2-game winning streak, 4-5. Now, to get to 500, they have to beat Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots, which this time around won't be a challenge at all because the offense and the defense is worse, and their special teams is their special teams is kind of overrated just for the simple fact that no one wants to note how bad their kicking has been. The Patriots definitely lose this game. The Texans go on a 3-game winning streak. They win their first home game of the bye week. So the Texans now are 2-2 at home. Well, no. Well, they'll be 3-2 at home if they win that game. Then they go to Detroit against the Lions. Easy W. 4-game win streak. And now at a 6-5 record. Week 13 against the Colts. This is going to be the test game. You're 6-5. You win this game, you're 7-5. And if you want to make a playoff run, 7-5 with 4 weeks to go is perfect because after this game, you would have the Bears, the Colts, the Bengals, and Titans. 4 very, very winnable games. But here's how I think it's going to play out. I don't think the Texans are going to beat the Colts this year. I don't think it's going to happen. because the Colts the Colts have become smart enough to actually outsmart a lot of their division opponents. Well, when they had Andrew Luck, now with Phillip Rivers, I feel like with Phillip Rivers, I feel like this Texans matchup for the Colts is not gonna. I don't think it's gonna be too much of a challenge for them, especially later in the season. But week 13, I had the Texans a tie against the Colts. Now, why would I project a tie? Now, I know people think my predictions are ridiculous enough. I have the nerve to place a tie between the Colts and the Texans. But let me explain this. The Colts are coming from under. The Texans are falling over. I don't know. I just feel like this game is going to be so competitive. Both offensive lines work very hard. The Colts offensive line is better than the Texans offensive line. The defenses are somewhat around the same. I don't want to hear how great the Colts defense is. It's not all that great. They've made some additions, but it's not all that great. On offense, since DeAndre Hopkins is gone, some people tried to make a case that Deshaun Watson has a lack of weapons. Phillip Rivers doesn't have that many weapons either, but it's not front. I think this game is going to go down to a tie. But from this point, the Texans would still not have lost a game since the bye week, technically. Week 14, they win at Chicago against the Bears. So right now, we're looking at a seven. So right now, we're looking at a 7-5-1 Texans team with 3 weeks to go. You have the Colts, the Bengals, and the Titans. Out of these last 3 games, I think the Texans only win one of them. Because let's be honest, Houston was never at that championship level. But if they ever wanted to get there, giving up DeAndre Hopkins just cost them every single hope of that. I think they lose to the Colts, so the Texans do not beat the Colts at all this year. I think they obviously win against the Bengals week 16, but they lose to the Titans again week 17. So this year, I only project the Texans to beat the Jaguars out of everyone in their division. If you feel some type of way, I'm sorry, but I predict the Texans to be 8-7-1 this season. The Texans have been a great team for a very long time, but after what they've done this offseason, I just feel like they're 1-2 mistakes away from being that mediocre Texans team that we used to watch back in the day. I don't have too much more to say on it. These are my predictions. To make faster uploading and for hope, I'm gonna stop this video in the next 60 seconds. After this video, I'm gonna do the Colts predictions, and hopefully later tonight, if not tomorrow, I'll do Titans and Jaguars predictions, and hopefully we could get to an AFC South conclusion by Thursday or Friday. This is ISCD Hinton. I will catch you guys in a minute. If not, peace.